The two most powerful words in the world that we know are, what if? Every great thing that I've ever been a part of began with those two words. And today, thousands of organizations are saying, what if? With the power to act on those words like never before. What if every child had a tutor? What if every healthcare visit felt personal? What if every family had their own financial advisor? What if your business never had to sleep? What if? What if your company could solve problems before you even knew they existed? What if you could empower every employee with a limitless digital workforce? One that listens, learns, and acts all day, every day. Well, this isn't some far-fetched science fiction fantasy anymore. No, it's happening right now with AI from Salesforce. It's called Agentforce. Agentforce turns your vision into reality. Think about it, a future where every student, patient, client, citizen, and customer experiences the best service possible. And your people? Well, now they're free to focus on the work that matters most. And all you have to do is bring your dreams. Imagine that. What if? Well, what if every company was an Agentforce company? What if?
Please welcome CEO, UK and Ireland Salesforce, Zara Baralaloumi, CBE.
Good morning, London. Are we feeling warmed up? Wasn't Lauren fantastic? I could see a few dance moves. That was fantastic. Isn't the room wonderful? And it is so great to be with you here this morning. A very warm welcome to Agentforce World Tour London. This year is bigger and better than ever, and we've got an action-packed agenda for you. We've got not one, but we've got a two-day agenda for you. And today, we're going to learn what it takes to become an Agentforce company. We'll dive deep into the potential that the technology holds for us, and we'll learn how humans and agents can together drive customer success. But first, I want to say a huge thank you. Thank you to our customers, our partners, our employees, our trailblazers, and a very special thank you to our agent blazers that I spy over here in the corner. Now, all of you, whether you are here in person or you are online, you are the very beating heart of Salesforce, and we really thank you for being by our side. When we started this journey at Salesforce, we did so with our values. And as we continued to grow, we always reminded ourselves, always, every day, that values create value. Our core values of trust, customer success, innovation, equality, sustainability, they are our foundation. And that's even more important as AI technology becomes ever more powerful. Our values ensure that we navigate change responsibly and that business remains the greatest platform for change. When Mark Benioff and Parker Harris founded Salesforce 25 years ago, they did so with an idea called the 1-1-1 model. And the idea was to give away 1% of our time, our product, and our equity. And since then, we've had and seen some amazing results. We continue to have impact. To date, we've donated $810 million in all-time giving to nonprofits and NGOs and educational institutions, with $32.2 million of that being right here in the UK. And our brilliant employees, I'm so proud of them. Our brilliant employees have volunteered 9.8 million hours of their time globally, so close to the 10, with 863,000 of those hours being from our brilliant team here in the UK and Ireland, and 62,000 organizations, not-profits, educational organizations, NGOs, they utilize our product for free. But what we are really proud of, what we are most proud of, is that we've inspired so many organizations to join us. And today, 19,000 organizations have adopted our model, and we would love for you to join them. Now, I am so happy to share that we are donating $2.35 million to 3 incredible educational organizations that focus on digital and AI literacy, skills building, and STEM career pathways. So if you are here from Big Education, Catch-22, or Urban Synergy, please stand up so that we can recognize and thank you. Where are they? Where are they at? Brilliant. You do amazing work. Thank you. You can sit now. And that's not all, because also with us today, we have another fantastic organization called the Big Leaf Foundation. Where are my Big Leaf friends? There we are. So Big Leaf do fantastic work supporting young refugees to adapt to life in the UK. A very, very tough challenge. You've actually won the King's Award for volunteering, haven't you? Thanks to your fabulous volunteering work. Well, we're pleased and honoured to give you £10,000 today to continue your fantastic work. You'll be in the campground, so they'll be in the campground. So do go over and say hello, see how you can help. I hear a rumour there's a really long walk tomorrow night through the night. Is that right? A big one? No? Might have got that wrong. Jocelyn's laughing. Okay, but anyway, get roped in. You can help them. I'm sure they'll put you to work. And we continue to invest in the UK and embrace the spirit of innovation. As the 3rd largest AI market globally, we are in prime position to take advantage of and unlock the opportunities of agentic AI. This time last year, I was on this very stage, for any of you that remember, and I very proudly announced that Salesforce had selected London to open our first ever AI centre, a physical space right here in London. And since then, we've welcomed 12,500 visitors, we've hosted 220 events, and we have trained over 1,000 agent blazers. I'm also very honoured to share that our AI Centre will be partnering with the Brunel Centre for Artificial Intelligence to curate thought leadership on technical AI development and how to implement AI responsibly. And together, we will extend our training centre initiatives, and we will provide tailored capability workshops for customers and for communities focused on AI and business strategy. And I really can't wait to see how our joint efforts will positively impact our customers and society at large as we try to understand the broader implications of AI. A bit of a personal point here, but I am really very lucky and very honoured to wake up every day as part of this Salesforce community. Being part of one of the world's most innovative and philanthropic and ethical organizations in the world is something that really does drive me, and it is why I am here with you all today. And you, every single one of you, you are the reason that we have enjoyed this incredible growth. And Salesforce is on track to deliver over $40 billion worth of revenue this year, thanks to you. We are, however, seeing a shift. And it is quite possibly bigger than the arrival of the internet. Think back, if you dare, to 1995. You, sir, what were you up to in 1995?
I don't know.
No, and there probably wasn't any evidence either, no camera phones back then. That's the way I like it. Think back to 1995. We were so young and innocent then, weren't we? We didn't know what was ahead of us. We thought planes were going to fall out the sky, didn't we, at the Y2K, for those of you that can remember. Well, for the first time in 1995, bricks and mortar businesses, they had an opportunity to tap in to a whole new audience globally, online. And then came cloud, which gave us a whole new way of accessing applications. And whatever the wave of innovation, whether from mobile to social, Salesforce has continued to innovate to drive your customer success and help you grow your companies. With unified data, we had a single view of all of our customers and our customer interactions. With predictive AI, we were able to anticipate their needs. And now with agentic AI, we are quite possibly on the precipice of something so much bigger: digital labor. This is a moment. This is a moment where we get to extend our teams and unlock additional capacity with AI agents working alongside us. And we need this now more than ever because customers expect more. They're demanding. I'm demanding. Would you say you're demanding?
No.
Well, you are not helping me right now, sir. I need someone that's really impatient and demanding, because when I have an issue and I contact my customer center or support, I want personalized and an empathetic service instantaneously. When I call my insurance company, as an example, I want access to experts to help me make the best selections for me. Customers want proactive scheduling. They want zero hold times. And we all want this 24/7, 365 days a year. And the reality is, many companies are struggling to keep up. They're facing fixed capacity, they're facing stalled productivity, an increasing amount of repetitive and mundane tasks, and employees are burning out. But what if there was a different way? What if workforces had no limits? What if we didn't have to choose between quality and scale? What if we met our customers in any channel that they chose and we gave them a damn good service while we were there? Well, that is precisely why we created Agentforce. Because today's customer experiences, they demand workforces without limits. With Agentforce, you have agents with real agency. They don't just talk, they don't just chat, they take action, and they resolve your customers' issues or queries 24/7. And these agents, they collaborate with your people inside the apps that they already use, transforming the way that your teams engage with your customers across every touch point, whether it's sales, service, marketing, commerce, and so on. But to unlock these experiences, both for your customers and for your employees, you need instant access to all of your enterprise data. And Data Cloud makes this possible by bringing all of your data together with zero copy and surfacing the right insights that you need with retrieval augmented generation. That is a mouthful, ladies and gents, I have to tell you. RAG for short. And all of that is powered by metadata. And that is the foundation that gives the AI the context that it needs to understand your data, its relationships, and how to use your workflows. So you're not having to grapple or wrestle with lots of disconnected systems. Instead, it's all in one trusted, deeply unified platform working for you. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a new and boundless opportunity for every organization in here. It's an opportunity for every organization to take advantage of the digital labor revolution. Humans and agents coming together, you can unleash on-demand expertise anywhere. You can reduce hold times. You can unlock unlimited growth. There is an estimated $6 trillion worth of value to be captured by digital labor. And that's why we're seeing so much success with some of our customers already. Take Heathrow Airport. We've all been through Heathrow Airport, right? It's easier to ask who hasn't been. One of the largest airports in the world, and to transform the experience for 83 million passengers that travel through there every year, Heathrow wanted a faster way to resolve customer queries and issues and wanted to transform the traveller experience. And Heathrow is making every journey smoother with real-time personalised support with Agentforce and with WhatsApp. It is incredible. Agentforce will now respond to you in real time. It will navigate you through the terminal seamlessly. It will help you find shopping and dining options, and it will help you get to that elusive gate ever more efficiently. Or RBC Wealth Management. RBC's clients are incredibly discerning, and they want personalized expertise at every single interaction. And Agentforce is making their advisors way more effective and surfacing insights on demand at the fingertips for those advisors. The one I've been dying to tell you about is our own case study. So Salesforce, we are really proud. We are proud to be customer zero. And we deployed Agentforce on our help and our Salesforce.com websites. And since then, Agentforce has handled 850,000 conversations. I have to stop because I'm going to give you a big number in a second. 850,000 conversations. 85% of the help conversations were resolved with Agentforce. No human intervention. That resulted for us in a $50 million saving, 50. And our Salesforce.com conversations resulted in 30,000 Agentforce influence leads. That is incredible. Now, I share just a few examples, right? But the possibilities and the permutations are endless. Because guess what? Agentforce unlocks digital labor for any use case. And we have seen successes across so many customers in all of their respective industries and their businesses. Agentforce, I should say, can resolve your customer issues 24/7. It can schedule customer appointments. It can schedule patient appointments. It can give you personalized learning and coaching. It can be your always-on membership concierge. Oh my goodness. I never thought I would be saying this. Oh my goodness. If you can just imagine the value and the outcomes that it will unlock for your businesses, that's incredible. Now, I did promise you at the beginning that we would understand what it takes to become an Agentforce company. So we're going to understand now how to harness the power of digital labor with Agentforce. We are going to understand teach you how to deliver trust and accuracy with Data Cloud, and we're going to talk to you about how you can apply this across your full 360. So I want that warm London greeting and welcome to welcome our next speaker, our first demo pilot, as it were. I want you to give a very warm welcome to Paul O'Sullivan.
Thank you, Zara. Thank you, Zara, and good morning, everybody. It is so good to see so many familiar faces and some new ones as well. I'm really looking forward to connecting with many of you throughout today. Now, digital labor. Digital labor is a massive leap forward for our business and yours. But to realize the promise of digital labor, we need agentic AI. Now, like many of you, when I think about AI, I think about large language models, or LLMs. And yes, large language models have been revolutionary in their ability to understand human language. But that alone is not enough. Let's compare an LLM to something like a central processing unit, or a CPU. For a CPU to be effective, it needs to be part of a larger system. It needs a motherboard, it needs storage, it needs memory, it even needs an operating system. Now, LLM is exactly the same. It needs data to train from and learn from, structured, unstructured, metadata, and semantic data too. Then, it needs to be connected and integrated with all of your apps across every line of business, all of your industry apps, your analytics, your automations, and your APIs. It needs to be integrated with your apps so that it can take action on behalf of your business. And finally, we need the AI to be connected to your agents. This is where we can bring in techniques like retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, which gives us the ability to make sure that our AI has access to the right data at the right time. And while it's connected and integrated with all of your business apps, it can start to reason, it can start to learn, and it can understand what you're trying to achieve. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. You're thinking, Paul, this sounds too easy. I could probably stitch all of this together myself. But the reality is, this is really, really difficult. So what you need is a trusted, unified platform, something that can take care of all of the permissions, guardrails, and compliance for your organization, so that you want the confidence to know that when somebody asks your AI a question, it provides a relevant response, something that is with context and grounded in the right data. Now, we also know that as companies and leaders and admins, you're not just going to work with one company. No, you need this unified platform to be as open and extensible as possible, so that you can bring any LLM, you can connect to any system or API, and you can also bring all of your data without physically having to move your data. And you also need to make sure that all of this can run in any geographic region that your organization runs in. So you need this trinity of data, apps, and AI. Now, here's the good news. We've built this for you, and we call this Agentforce. Agentforce is our deeply unified platform, connecting your AI agents to your data through Data Cloud, and then activating that across the full Customer 360. Now, we've got thousands of customers already using Agentforce, and the results are incredible. Customers are seeing 16 times faster time to value and 75% more accuracy in those responses as well. Now, Agentforce is powered by an open ecosystem, so that you can bring all of your data, any AI model or LLM, and you can run Salesforce on any cloud. With our ISV ecosystem partners, we've got tons of pre-built solutions so that you can get even more value out of your platform. And we've just announced Agent Exchange, which is our marketplace from over 200 partners who have already built lots of topics and actions so you can get going really, really quickly. Now, you might be saying, Paul, that sounds great, but how does it work? Well, let me explain to you how it works. At the heart of Agentforce is Atlas. Atlas is our reasoning engine. It's the brains behind everything. Now, it starts with some sort of trigger. That might be a change of state in data, or it might be a customer behavior. Atlas then collects this data and tries to understand. It makes a plan and it evaluates. From that plan, it starts to get stitched together a series of actions that it then executes for you. And then it provides you an outcome or an output. It's as simple as that, and all without any human intervention. Okay, this next bit's my favorite bit, because Agentforce can work across your entire business. So any team, any workflow, wherever it might be. So if you're trying to qualify leads, schedule appointments, or manage inventory, Agentforce can do that for you. But here also, did you know that Agentforce can also take action outside of the CRM as well, with the help of MuleSoft for integration? So if you're trying to process a refund in SAP, Agentforce can do that. If you're trying to enable subscriptions in Snowflake, Agentforce has got your back. They can do that. Okay, now I want to bring this to life with a customer story. Capita is an Agentforce company. They are a global outsourcing and recruitment company based right here in the heart of London. Now, to get you more familiar with the Capita story, let's watch a quick video.
For many industries, access to labor is absolutely critical.
With a 50-to-1 candidate-to-job placement ratio and thousands of CVs, a very frustrating part of the recruitment process is waiting weeks or months for the right people. To really recruit at scale, efficiently and effectively, speed is really important. At Capita, we're a modern outsourcer, touching millions of people's lives across the globe every day.
We recruit over 10,000 people every year, whether it's a retail company, telecommunications company, financial services institution.
People are at the core of our business, so humans working with agents really fit at the center of our strategy.
When I saw Agentforce, I had to take a pause. The agentic economy delivers a massive transformation to capture the expertise that you have in the organization. We will accelerate the whole recruitment process to happen a lot faster by optimizing the value chain in every single step.
For example, you might be a student, and this might be your first job. You might not know exactly what you want, but based on your experience and your CV, Agentforce is quickly helping us offer that insight about what job might be the best fit for you.
A lot of roles, they're very business critical. Every day that those roles aren't filled, there's a material impact to the business. Agentforce is a real game changer here because what it allows is for the applicant to talk with Agentforce in natural language. And we can use Agentforce to look into data cloud and to extract meaning from all the data to then give better recommendations and to more tailor that interaction with the applicant. And it suggests jobs which are the most relevant in a very quick period of time.
It's much more pleasant to come to our website, interact with Agentforce, and ask natural questions.
We can even go as far as doing the initial interviews using Agentforce. It's very powerful, enhancing that experience for the applicant, but also making the life of the recruiter easy.
And in the future, we're not looking at just stopping here. We are our first customer for our recruitment as a service offering.
Once we have done it internally, we will be selling that solution externally to other customers. I am really excited about recruitment as a service, not only cost saving for Capita, but it will be a platform to generate net new revenue. This high volume recruitment platform to help our customers serve their end customers better.
That's what's really powerful. Combining Agentforce with our expertise in the recruitment process, knowing what candidates are successful.
Getting mass recruitment that could take weeks or months sometimes, down to days. You've really got almost unlimited scalability at that point.
Providing new opportunities for customers, our employees, and our partners.
So that they can focus on what they do best. Agentforce is going to give us an acceleration on processes. You're going to see economic value creation, and you're going to see an improvement of customer service. It's too big an opportunity not to grab it with both hands.
Wasn't that amazing? With Agentforce, Capita is agentifying the recruitment process. They're taking the recruitment timelines down from months to days, and they're able to give candidates a personalized experience at every step of the process. Now, I want to show you what Capita are doing, and I want to bring this to life with a live demo. So please join me in welcome Callie and Ashley to the stage, who are going to help us with the live demo. Okay, imagine this. First of all, I want you all to put yourselves in the shoes of a job seeker, just for 1 minute. You have found your dream job. You're like, yes. And then what you've done is you've polished off your CV, you've written a brilliant covering letter, you've gone through the application process, and then you've hit submit. Now, for many companies, this is where the story ends. No reply, no feedback, just silence. Your dreams are crushed. But why is this? What's happening? So to understand this, we need to put ourselves in the perspective of a typical recruiter. Recruiters are overwhelmed. They are flooded with applications. They're actually working across many disconnected systems. And they just don't have enough hours in the day to give every candidate that personalized experience that they deserve. Their schedule is full of back-to-back meetings, team meetings, screening calls, and they have a queue of candidates who are looking for an update. Where am I in the process? What's next? Now, we just saw from that video that Capita is doing something differently. Capita is using Agentforce to proactively manage a lot of those repetitive, time-consuming tasks to give recruiters back time. Things like scheduling. But what if? What if we could take this one step further? What if we could actually have our agents take the first setup of a candidate coming through all the way through to the initial screening process? Now, I'm going to show you now how we can give one of our agents a brand new skill to do just that. And we're going to do that without writing a single line of code. Okay, so let's jump over to Agent Builder, because that's where it starts. Now, here in Agent Builder, we can see Cara. Cara is Capita's AI recruitment agent. We can see that she has a clear description and role, and we can also see the channels that she's activated on, such as voice and WhatsApp. Then we have topics. Now, topics are like jobs to be done for your organization, for your company. We've got topics like interview coordination and candidate care. Now, here we can see that a topic has a clear scope, and it also has a series of instructions. Now, remember a while ago I said our goal here should be to give an agent a brand new skill so that they can also conduct that initial screening call. So let's go ahead and create a brand new topic to do just that. Okay, so just to give a description of what we're trying to achieve, all in natural language, we can create our first topic. From this, you can see that Agentforce has generated all of these fields. And again, it has a description, it has a scope. Now, the scope is really, really important because it tells us what we do not want the agent to do. And then we can extend that with a series of instructions, like use a conversational, friendly tone, or use inclusive language. Now, topics are great, but to fulfill tasks, we need actions. So let's go ahead and add some actions to this topic. Now, here's the good news. You're not starting from scratch. We've got tons of pre-built actions ready for you to go. But we also recognize that you may have invested in topics in actions yourself. You may have existing flows, Apex, and prompts within your org. Now, Agentforce can take that existing capability and generate brand new actions as well. So with just a few clicks, we've added some new AI-generated actions, and then we've added those to our topic. So we've got a brand new topic up here, candidate screening. Okay, so we've given it a new skill. Now let's try and test this out. So we can do that right here in Agent Builder. And right now, we can also do that in Agent Builder using voice. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so Callie, maybe you can help us out here. Can we simulate an experience of a candidate who's just applied for a role and is trying to understand what the next steps are?
Sure, that sounds fun. Hey, I'm Helene Smith. Just wondering, what are my next steps for the education assessor role?
Hi, Helene. The next step is gathering a little more information. I see from your application that you have teaching experience. Could you describe any experience you have with assessing vocational qualifications?
Sure. I have some experience assessing for business admins, but I'm really excited to focus building my skills in a proper apprentice setting.
Great. This role involves working closely with various stakeholders. How do you typically approach stakeholder communication and collaboration?
Brilliant. Thank you, Callie. Thank you so much. Okay, so big round of applause. Okay, so what have we just seen? So on the right-hand side, we can see in Agent Builder that our agent is now equipped with this brand new skill. So they're now able to conduct the initial screening call. And on the left-hand side, this is where we can see the Atlas reasoning engine at work. It's selecting the right topics and actions based on the user input. Things like get candidate data. It's then able to retrieve the candidate's profile, identify what's missing in that profile, and only ask the candidate for the missing information. So we've seen not only is Atlas going through all of the steps and skills that we gave it a while ago in those actions, but what we're also seeing is it's staying within the guardrails that we specified, those instructions, which is really important. So Atlas has now gone through the candidate screening flow, it's updated the profile, and it's now scheduled the next steps as well. And it gives you full transparency every step of the way. Now, we've only just tested one conversation. If we were about to release this, we would have to test hundreds, if not thousands, of different variations of conversations. Now, we can do this testing at scale over in the testing center. So here in the testing center, we can have Agentforce generate a number of different test cases for us. So we can see that Callie's selecting the agent, and also 2,000 test cases that we want to generate. With that clear description, we can generate those tests. Now, once those tests are generated, we could go ahead and we could run that. But let's take a look at some of the results from a test that we ran earlier this morning. Okay, here we can see our tests are complete. We can see what the pass rate is. And actually, we can go a little bit deeper and we can try and understand what passed, what failed. We can see that the conversations associated, whether or not they're triggering the right topics and actions. And if a test has failed, we can dig in and we can try and analyze the results even further. This then allows us to iterate on our agent so that we can deploy our agent with confidence. Okay, so now our agent is active and live. It has a new skill. This time, we're going to do another live test right now, and this time I'll be the candidate. So let's say I'm looking for a career change. Don't worry, Zara. Okay, I'm not just yet. But let's say I'm looking to become an education assessor. Okay, so I've just received a notification from Capita. Okay, so on WhatsApp, Capita is asking me for a little bit more detail about my experience. Now, this is great. I could do this right here in WhatsApp and just, go back and forth. But isn't it easier just to talk to somebody? So let's go ahead and give our agent a call.
Hi, I'm Cara, Capita's AI recruiting assistant. Thanks for applying for the educational assessor role supporting apprentices in the Royal Navy. Mind if I ask a few follow-up questions?
Sure thing.
Great. I see from your application that you're a qualified educational professional. Can you tell me more about your experience?
Yes, I've been doing this at Salesforce for the last 2 years, predominantly supporting our apprentice program and in the engineering space.
That's great. Capita supports this work through infrastructure and tools like digital assessment platforms and case management systems. Are you comfortable using online scheduling systems and uploading structured reports through secure portals?
Yes, I've used a number of different secure portals to provide reports in the past.
Perfect. Our next step is to schedule a live video interview with one of our senior education leads next week. What time works best for you?
How about Wednesday morning next week?
Great. I'll send you a confirmation along with some preparation materials. Thank you for your time.
Brilliant. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay. Big round of applause. Wasn't that a great candidate experience? Now, just imagine this at scale. Imagine Cara conducting thousands of screening calls. Now, not only will this save recruiters hundreds of hours, but it will also make sure that no candidate falls through the cracks. Now, before I hand back over to Sarah, I just want you to think, what could be one business outcome that you think Agentforce could achieve for your business? Thank you so much for listening, and back to you, Zara.
Well done, Paul. Well done, team. That was incredible. And what you can see from that is that Agentforce isn't just a suite of AI tools. It is the agentic layer for your enterprise. And we have been innovating hard and fast to get this into your hands super fast, super quickly. So in December, we launched 2.0. At TDX in March, we launched 2DX. Sorry, get my teeth in, 2DX. But actually, what's really important, we've done this so that you can agentify any app or any workflow with new features like Agentforce API and MuleSoft for Agentforce, so that you can deploy your agents quickly and confidently with maximum trust with the testing center UI. And you can take action anywhere in any system with Agent Exchange. But that's brilliant, right? But none of that is relevant if you don't have the data. And so here, flown over especially for us, here to tell us all about how we activate this data and take advantage of these amazing opportunities, please give a very warm London welcome to Shabani Ahuja.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Zara. My friends, I have a confession to make that only 6 months ago, just a little over 6 months ago, I was sitting in your seat. I was a customer of Salesforce. In Canada, I worked at one of the largest banks, and we were driving personalization at scale. This was about one-to-one personalization near real time because we wanted to harmonize all of that information on our customers. Now, I will tell you firsthand that Data Cloud went from being one of the most misunderstood products to one of the most valuable. And that's because when you have unified data, the opportunity for every single company, team, human, agent is incredible. For sales teams, it's a matter of taking those cross-sell, upsell opportunities and being able to drive them and close them faster. For service teams, imagine that your service teams could anticipate the needs and the problems of your customers and be able to solve them before your customers even know that they exist. We all know the value of data. Yet why is it that we have a staggering number of leaders that don't feel like they're getting enough from it? 94%. Well, I suspect it may have something to do with this. I know at my last organization, this is what all of my data looked like. And many of our customers, they have thousands of data platforms and data sources. The average enterprise organization, they have nearly 900 applications, of which 71% are disconnected. And within all of these islands of disconnected data, there is some disconnected value. We created Data Cloud to unlock the full value and the full potential of all of your data across the entire organization. Natively built within the Salesforce platform, you can leverage zero-copy capabilities. That data that sits in all of those lakes, all of those warehouses, it remains in those lakes and warehouses. It's not duplicated, it is not copied, just harmonized. And you can take real-time action across your entire ecosystem. So I'm going to come out of my Salesforce persona for just a moment. Let's see how the team will feel about this. I was a customer. I heard this exact same deal. My true reaction when I was a customer? No thanks, Salesforce. Nope, I don't need, you are first never going to get my data. I don't need another lake. I don't need another warehouse. I've got enough. I have all of my lakes and warehouses. And this is a true story, until I realized we were driving near real-time personalization. There wasn't a single person, Not a single person in my organization that had a user ID and a password for any one of my lakes and warehouses, such that they could extract that near real time and be able to take it across the organization. And it was at that point that I realized the value of Data Cloud. That's when I realized that Data Cloud is a thin activation layer that allows me to harmonize all of that rich information across my organization and activate throughout my ecosystem, whether that was on Salesforce applications, whether that was across Slack, or third-party applications like SAP or Marketo. That's when I realized this is the value. And Data Cloud helps make Agentforce even better. With Data Cloud, you also get access to some of the latest innovations on data privacy and governance. So let's see how Data Cloud actually works. It all starts with harmonizing all of that data that we saw across your disparate systems, both structured and unstructured. And by unstructured, this could be PDFs, it could be voice notes, it could be your Slack conversations. Once you bring it together, what Data Cloud does is it starts to harmonize customer, in this case, candidate profiles. It starts to do identity resolution, a real pain for many organizations. Once you've got all of those profiles harmonized and unified, we're now able to scale governance across Data Cloud with AI, leveraging AI to automatically tag and classify all of the data that is ingested. Once we have that clean, harmonized data, we are able to activate it across the entire ecosystem. And Data Cloud brings trusted data to Agentforce, and it allows Agentforce to conduct better, smarter reasoning and planning, and that's thanks to Atlas. So you heard Paul talk a bit about Atlas earlier. Think of Atlas as the brains behind Agentforce. Now, he also talked you through this flow to say it starts with a prompt, no different than us. When we get asked to do something, we think about it. We consider, do we have enough information before we take action? In this case, imagine having Data Cloud turbocharged with all of that rich information across your entire ecosystem. Now Atlas is performing that loop with contextual information on your customers, your company, your candidates, to be able to be confident that the outcome that Atlas is going to provide is right on. And it's by design that this should give you that same confidence that Agentforce is able to deliver results no different than your human teams can. So let's look at this in the context of Capita. Now, in recruitment, we know that timing is absolutely everything, and having static data is never going to be good enough. And so, to bring us right back into the demo, I'd love for you to welcome back Callie and Ashley, our DJ demo drivers, please. Thank you. All right. Now, to get into character, I'm going to switch characters quite a bit. To get into character for this one, imagine that I am Reese. Reese is a recruiter at Capita. Reese is having a nice cup of tea, and he wakes up in the morning and he starts to look at the news, and he realizes that local councils have just approved additional education programs. Now remember, Reese is hiring for education assessors. He's just realized, I think my day just got a little bit busier than it was before. So what Reese does, he jumps into Slack. Slack is where he starts his day every day. It's the heartbeat of his recruitment pipeline. And Reese starts to have a very natural conversation with Agentforce, no different than he would if it was with another colleague. Reese wants to get a sense of how busy his day is going to be, so he asks Agentforce, what are the open education assessor roles in London? Within seconds, Agentforce delivers a Tableau Next table, and it's surfacing job application data from Service Cloud. Now, this is great. Reese's suspicions have been validated. His hypothesis was right. Naturally, Reese is saying, okay, do we have enough candidates to meet that demand? So he asks Agentforce, once again, right in the flow of work. He's not stepping out into another system. Right in the flow of work, he gets additional information. But this time, we're missing something. We're missing the candidate side of the information. Now, we've got the job postings in Service Cloud, but all of that rich applicant data is sitting in Workday, and we don't yet have Workday connected, so it's a disconnected story. Well, let's fix that for Reese. To fix that for Reese, we're going to jump into Data Cloud, and for that, we're going to be a Salesforce administrator at Capita. Now, what we want to do is we want to start to connect the demand side, which is within Service Cloud, with the supply side, which sits within Workday. So we create a new data stream. And instantly, as we're starting to create a new data stream, what you start to see is all of the clouds that are available to Capita today and all of the information and data that's available. You scroll down a little bit more, you start to see all of the data sources, their data platforms, their lakes, their warehouses. Each of these can be connected with zero copy. Again, the data remains exactly where it's supposed to be. We can click and we can harmonize. So we're going to find Workday and we're going to connect that. Now, what's happening behind the scenes is Data Cloud is starting to harmonize those profiles. It's starting to do identity resolution. It's starting to tag and classify all of the data that comes in to ensure that all that personally identifiable information can remain safe. So let's go ahead and create that connection. And what you see now is with that data harmonized, this beautiful visual of all of how that data correlates, what we saw in Service Cloud, now with Workday. Incredible. Now, there can be a concern, though. Did we just expose a lot of sensitive customer data that was sitting in Workday through now to Slack? Well, this is where the native governance and security features of Data Cloud come in. Remember I said earlier that we have the ability to use AI to automatically classify and tag your data. Well, once your data is classified and tagged, you actually have the ability to create fine-grained policies to not only define who should have access to that information, human or agent, but also how we want that data to be masked or not masked. Take, for example, in an HR workflow, you likely don't want to mask that because HR is going to need access to that information. But at the same time, does Reese really need information on a candidate's home address or phone number? Likely not. So why don't we go ahead and create a new dynamic masking policy that'll prohibit Reese from being able to see home address and phone number. Now, yes, this information is typically needed in the recruitment process. And as we're going to keep building it, it's needed in the recruitment process because recruitment coordinators do need the ability to contact our candidates. It's also, but when exposed a little too soon, it could introduce privacy risk, or it could introduce unconscious bias. So let's make sure that Reese only has access to the information that he really needs. Perfect. Now let's activate that new policy. The data has been harmonized, the policy has been created to protect it, and now we're going to jump right back into Slack, where we left Reese. And friends, let me tell you one thing. Now we've created this policy. Just because it's been created here doesn't mean you have to recreate it in all the other systems. This policy will proliferate throughout your ecosystem. So Reese, we have him ask that question again. Do we have enough educational assessor candidates to meet that projected demand? And this time, Agentforce delivers. Agentforce now is giving Reese a complete picture of both the supply that is within Workday and the demand that sits within Service Cloud. And it is taking other industry data to help him understand market demands. Now, remember that dynamic masking policy that we created to ensure that Reese wasn't getting access to home address and phone number? Well, check that out. It's been masked. So we've got security at our fingertips. This is trust in action. It just works. But wait, there's more. As if that wasn't enough, Agentforce goes ahead and helps Reese become even better. He starts to make recommendations to say, hey, Reese, perhaps you want to launch a focused recruiting campaign because we're seeing where demand is starting to soar. Or maybe it's a shift in sourcing priorities. It even gives Reese a friendly nudge to say, you are about to be very busy. You might want to re-engage past applicants that hadn't necessarily made that cut. Now, this is how Data Cloud and Agentforce are helping Reese do his job better and be able to dynamically respond to the market needs. And in recruitment, we know that timing is absolutely everything. With Agentforce and Data Cloud, Capita is not just reacting, you are leading. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivani, thank you. So, we've learned about the agent or the agentic layer. We've now learned about the data layer. And so the next bit is where the magic happens. I know you'd debate that, Paul and Shivani, but this is where the magic actually happens. This is where humans and agents intersect. This is where they drive customer success together. And so here, to bring to life the application layer, please give a very warm London welcome to Jocelyn Zanassi.
Good morning, folks. I'm delighted to see you all here, and I'm delighted to be able to take you through this next chapter and talk you through Customer 360. But first, let me take you back, if I could, to the 90s. Do you remember it? I know I do. Cool Britannia, the Spice Girls, girl power. Come on. Thank you. The birth of the internet, but most importantly, the birth of Salesforce. You see, folks, we've been working hard on this for a long time. Since 1999, we've been building each and every one of these apps and bringing them together into one deeply integrated platform. And now we're bringing Agentforce into each and every one of those apps. So in the next few minutes, I'd like to take you through what we're doing with each one of those and how you can take advantage of Agentforce in each and every one of our apps today. So let's start with Sales Cloud. Now, I use Sales Cloud every single day, and I imagine many of you do too. With Agentforce and Sales Cloud, this is the huge opportunity to see the future of sales. With Agentforce, you can get rid of those tedious tasks that prevent our sales teams from being truly effective. Think of the workload your sales teams take on a daily basis. With Agentforce, they can accelerate their pipeline, lead nurture, and close those deals faster. And with sales coaching, Agentforce can provide real-time coaching for each of your sellers as they talk to each and every one of your customers. Think about that from a personalized and proactive support service. Then in Service Cloud, how many of you have called a service center only for that service center to be closed just when you want it? It's really frustrating, right? With Agentforce, you have the opportunity to have a service center that's available to you 24 hours a day, right when your customers want to engage you, not when it suits the humans in your team to be available. They have the opportunity to do that both externally for your customers, but also think about that internally. HR service, IT service, to be able to support your employees right when they need it the most as well. That's the power of Agentforce and Service Cloud. Now, let me tell you a little bit about field service. With field service, Agentforce has the ability to bring together the most complex components that drive customer satisfaction with field service. So think about the availability of the right engineer, the right parts, but most importantly, your customers' availability. How do you bring all of those together and do that at scale? That's the power of Agentforce in field service for us available today. And then Marketing Cloud. For all of our marketers here in the room, I've got a little teaser. Later on today at our Connections event in Chicago, we're going to be launching Marketing Cloud next. This really is the next generation of Marketing Cloud for us, how we break down the silos between sales, service, and marketing to give a single personalized and proactive service and through marketing to each and every one of the channels. Now, let me tell you a little bit about one of our customers and what they're doing uniquely with Marketing Cloud right now, and that's Thames Valley Police. Now, I hope many of you have never had to deal with Thames Valley Police, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, because they are lovely people, but genuinely, I hope you haven't. What they're doing is they've reimagined their victim portal with Marketing Cloud. The ability to do that has given them a cost saving of £1.4 million. The cost to serve is decreased as a result of them reimagining how they engage victims. Next on our list is Commerce Cloud. Now, many of you will have engaged heavily with Commerce Cloud till this point. Agentforce in Commerce Cloud allows each of your merchants, your buyers, to really rethink how they can be truly productive. Think about how they get one more item in each cart, where the stock is at that very moment, and then from a personal shopper experience. Ever been a shopper and you've tried to get that one particular item you want in that size or that unique fridge dimension and you just can't find it? Think about how Agentforce could support your shoppers to be able to provide that personalized and proactive experience. As you heard earlier, that's exactly what Heathrow are doing right now, with a 30% increase in digital revenue. Next in our field is Revenue Cloud. Now, I'm going to hover over this for just a moment because I want to show you in the demo in just a few moments the power of Agentforce in Revenue Cloud and the ability for the agent to be able to support you all the way through from quoting to configuration to billing. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. But what I do want to show you next is Tableau, the bringer of actionable data my absolute favorite. This is really where we bring data to life in each and every one of your apps. So you can see your data, understand it, but most importantly, take action on it right where you need it most in each and every one of your apps, there and live. And then Slack. My favorite, again, I have to say, this is an enormous productivity boost for me personally. It's where I live. This is the operating system of work. With Agentforce and Slack, it has the ability to bring all of your apps, your people, your conversations, your collaboration, your data, and now allows each of your team to be able to collaborate with an agent live so they can be even more productive than ever before. And then last but not least, MuleSoft. Now, you heard from Shabani earlier on that MuleSoft is totally open. This gives us a superpower when it comes to Agentforce. The ability for us to have low-code, click-and-go connectors that allows you to connect even beyond CRM. So no matter where your data is, no matter what third party it's residing in, MuleSoft can bring that together to allow you to activate and really help Agentforce understand your business. Now, folks, this one is an eye chart. It really is. I'm not going to run through it, I promise you. But what I will ask you to do, folks, is take out your phones. I'm going to give you a moment to do that. And scan that QR code for me. What I really want you to know here is that we have more than 100 out-of-the-box, ready-to-go actions in Agentforce for you today. So no matter what industry you're in, you have the ability to be able to support you now with click-and-play actions. And if you're sitting in the audience in a regulated industry thinking, how do I take advantage of that? There's 2 new actions I really want to bring your attention to that are live now. The first is in financial services. For customers that are calling into you and have lost their credit card, the ability to be able to support those customers instantly, that's a ready-to-go plug-and-play action. The second is in life sciences. This is how we bring together the right patient with the right clinical trial and do that seamlessly. Folks, that's ready to go for you today. Click and play. Now, what I'd really like to do here is to show you all of this in action and go back to our brilliant customer Capita and our colleague Reese, who we saw earlier on. So please, folks, welcome back our fantastic demo team. Thank you, folks. These guys are awesome. So let's go back and talk about our persona Reese that we were discussing, our recruiter. Now, Reese is going to go back into Slack, where he spends most of his day. So here he is in his Slack channel. Now, he has everything he needs in here because you saw us connect the data to Slack, and this is really where he's working. And he is so fortunate because as a recruiter, he also has Agentforce. Now, you heard earlier on that we noticed that there was a need for a senior recruiter role in London. Now, what we'd ordinarily do as a recruiter is go ahead and create quite a complicated campaign to find the right candidates for that particular role. But Reese has Agentforce. So in absolute plain English, we're going to ask Agentforce to give us a hand with this. So here's our digital colleague. Can you help me create a new campaign to recruit an assessor in central London? And off it goes. Just like that, Agentforce is working hard to create that campaign for us. It's also going to go ahead and create the copy for us for that job role. Well, how's it doing that? Well, actually, Agentforce is excellent at reasoning. And because we've given it all of that foundation of data, whether that's in unstructured or structured data, not only is it creating that copy, it's using the right keywords, which we know will drive great candidates, but it's also showing us the best possible job boards for us to be able to post this to be able to get the candidates that we need and get them today. Now, that looks really good so far. Reese, our human in the loop, is going to have a look at this. Now, actually, he thinks we probably need to add more detail about the benefits of this role, and we want it to sound a bit more like Capita. It needs to have the Capita tone of voice. So here we are again, straight into Agentforce to ask it to do just that. And as if by magic, in just those few moments, it has created that campaign for us. Again, we're going to check it one more time, and once Reese is satisfied, he goes ahead and clicks approve, and the campaign is now live. Folks, think about the time saving for that one recruiter. Pretty phenomenal, right? So what I want to show you here is that not only can we have the ability to be able to find the right candidates, but let's look at further down the process that Reese is working into and look at how we create contracts and do billing really effectively as well. So folks, can we jump on over to Sales Cloud, please, and let me show you how that works. So here we are on Sales Cloud in the opportunity page. And again, we have all of the data that we need right in the same place. Now here, we want to create a quote for that customer. Now, ordinarily, when we're creating a quote, that would require quite a lot of manual work, probably multiple systems. What are the pre-approved terms for that customer? What are the billing rates, et cetera, that we have for them? But now we have Agentforce bringing all of that data together. That gives us that power. So let's go ahead and ask Agentforce in our simple language, please go ahead and create that quote for me. Now think about what it's doing here. It's searching across all of our structured and unstructured data. Regardless of whether that's here in Revenue Cloud or in any third-party system, it's bringing that together for us seamlessly. And there's my quote, ready to go. Now think about how long it might take you to generate a quote. The average, folks, is 37 clicks. 37! You just watch me do that with a simple plain language prompt. Well, actually, you watch the brilliant demo team do it, but with simple plain language, think about that amazing time saving. Now that's looking pretty good, but we know Capita wants to be as flexible as possible. So let's apply a 5% discount to make sure we're super competitive in this environment. Now Agentforce is going to go ahead, make that 5% discount change. It's going to update the price. It's going to update the margin, and it's going to ensure it's still within Capita's guardrails. So what are the guardrails of business that we set it earlier, so we're not giving too much away? And there it is, ready to go. So folks, what are we going to do next? Well, let's turn it into a PDF so that we can share that with our customer. So here we are in Salesforce Document Management. That's looking pretty good. I think that's almost ready. So let's go generate that PDF. And what it will do will automatically update the opportunity because it's a single integrated platform that's doing that for us. And because it's looking so professional, we send that off to the procurement team, and of course, they pay instantly, as all procurement teams do. Folks, that's the power of the ability to use Agentforce seamlessly to generate those quotes. So let's see how Reese is doing. Let's see how that's helping him perform in his role. Can we head back over to Slack, please, to where he's working every day? And look at the Slack canvas, where we have Agentforce hard at work for us again. Let's see what the hiring performance trends look like to see if we're on track. Okay, folks, let's have a look. So his campaign speed over time, way reduced. Okay, so we're launching campaigns faster. His cost per applicant, way down from where it was, probably because he's able to do it significantly faster than ever before. And our Q2 pipeline, how's that looking? How are we looking in our Q2 pipeline to see, are we on track for the future? We ask Agentforce exactly that. Do we have enough candidates to fulfill the roles that we need? And there we go, 15% over Q2 goal. Well done, Reese. I have to say, if we had many Reeses in the team working this productively, that'd be a pretty phenomenal thing. So what did I just show you there, folks? I showed you the power of Agentforce in each and every one of the applications that you use every day. This is bringing together data, humans, and agents together to be even more productive than ever before. Now, with that, let me hand back to Zara and the fabulous Adolfo.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Jocelyn. Folks, I've got to tell you, this is my reality every day. This is the reality of all of us at Salesforce. And even seeing that in full flow is still mind-blowing, even for us that are kind of hands-on tools and doing this day to day. Well, we've heard a lot about Capita, but I'm not certain we've got enough Capita people here. I haven't heard any Capita people. Do we have any Capita people here? Oh, finally. There's a competition for the noisiest customer. We've heard the story. You've seen the demos, brought beautifully to life by our brilliant DJs and our speakers. But it's really important that we get a leadership perspective. I have to tell you, this leader, before I announce him, this leader is incredible because he's truly progressive, a breath of fresh air, challenges me, challenges Salesforce in all the right ways so that we create a better outcome together. And so I couldn't be more proud to share the stage. Give it up, please. And I want the Capita loud. Give it up for Adolfo Hernandez, CEO of Capita. Yeah. Thank you so much, Adolfo. Thank you. Is it nice to be here?
I think it's fantastic to be here. I'm just a little bit humbled by the whole thing.
Wow, you are an incredible leader. You've got an incredible organization and a fabulous proposition, so we had to do it. Of course we did. Now, I've got a few questions for you, if I may.
Okay, fire away.
Is that all right?
Easy ones, hopefully.
Okay, well, look, even just in the short space of time, even since we launched Agentforce, things have moved on already. So it's always evolving. AI, agentic, always moving. How do you see that playing out when you think about humans and agents? How will the relationship evolve over time?
With all change, I think the perspective is also changing. I think a few months ago, it was about one of fear, right? But now, a few months into it, it's really feeling like really symbiotic. So we like to say that the business process outsourcing market, BPO, is like ground zero for agentic AI. It's truly is where big, complex, hairy workflows and processes meet all this intelligent automation, and then with a human in the loop. Yeah. So if agentic is going to go anywhere, it has to really transform this market. Similarly, this market is fully transformational. So if you bring it back down to what we do, just to sort of really understand the role of the humans, so you've seen some of the stuff that we do, you've seen some of the work we do for the armed forces to keep the country safe, the work we do for Transport for London to keep London moving, you see the work we do for vulnerable customers on behalf of councils and financial service institutions. So it's a lot of different business processes, a lot of variety, and a lot of complexity. So you couldn't mandate this top-down. You really have to get to a point where the specialists that own these very complex business processes really thrive in the prospect of working this. So we always say you need the expertise in the business process, you need the talent, and you need the best technology. And initially it was, I don't know, this is going to take my job away. Actually, now people are working, understanding that this is going to make their job a lot better. So they are identifying which part of the business process is very data-intensive, real-time processing, correlating, stuff that Agentforce would do a lot better. Sure. And then they focus on what humans do better. Is the escalation points, is the complex decision-making on supporting or not supporting, overruling the agencies, training the agencies, looking after the ethical considerations. And this all brings the need, which is something that I wasn't expecting, to fundamentally change the culture. We're in a process to recreate the culture of the company. We've even had to engage 10,000 employees in Capita to create new values, because what we had before didn't serve in this reality. So now you've got customer first, you've got this sort of fearless innovation, you've got everybody feels included, you've got achieved together, not only within colleagues in Capita, but people like yourselves. So it's a total redefinition enabled and empowered by agentic AI. So it's a fascinating opportunity. And as I said in the video, you have to be silly not to grab it with both hands.
Wow, you certainly have. And I have to say, you are, I called you out, a very progressive leader. You're advanced in, the world of technology. You've been deeply immersed in it through your history. You're seasoned. You work with so many partners. And yet on the video, you said when you saw Agentforce, you had to pause for thought. Why did you choose Agentforce? Why did you choose that?
Well, as you would expect, we work for a lot of regulated industry customers and government. So they would expect us to do our homework. They would expect us to really understand what's available, evaluate, pilot, test, and ultimately recommend as we build our solutions. And as we do that, there's a number of things that are critical. And I would just highlight three. First one is the relationship. I think the relationship with Salesforce is one that has allowed us to know what's coming, how is it coming, to have an influence, to have an input, a point of view into the technology, into functionality that is missing that we deem is relevant, into what we see in the market, also conversations around business models, and the ability to have that insight, early on insight, and feeling like we're part of this rather than this is happening to us, is really, kudos to you as a company. The second thing that is fundamental to everything we do is trust, right? Regulated industries, again, government. Yeah. And whether we like it or not, I think we like it because it's a good thing. People worry still. What about hallucinations? What about data sharing? How accurate is this going to be? Are we going to have precision into the outputs? What is being logged? For what purpose? How do I manage governance? So one of the things I love about the Agentforce proposition is that you're really grounded by data.
Yeah.
You know, you only operate within the confines of the data. These guardrails that we can set for agents. This is the data that you can use. This is the data we can attack. This is what you're allowed to do. This is the beginning of your action. This is the end of your action. This is your escalation point. And the whole sort of what I call the security and framework, security framework and the governance framework that you build for agents, that's really, really powerful. And then the last thing, I was in the room when this was announced in September, I think end of September, in Dreamforce. I was blown away. I was totally blown away because I could see the possibilities. But having spent all of my life in tech, what I was not expecting is this speed of innovation that you guys were going to bring in from there. I mean, you've been seeing there GA, you know, all these extensions, all these integrations, the testing, Workbench. I mean, innovating at a fast clip is fundamental for us. I mean, we have a team that is called the Capita AI Catalysts, that they work with our customers in solutioning, understanding where agentic AI or the parts of AI can work. And having your machine of innovation at that fast clip, it's thanks to your trust, you've got a relationship, and we got the speed of innovation. So we couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Bigger discounts, though.
We'll be talking about that later.
Right.
But just lastly, you know, you talked about the transformation, the journey that you're on with Capita, and my goodness, you're doing immense things. Just tell us, you know, your bold ambitions over the next 5 years. How will Agentforce help you with those ambitions?
Do you know, we are blessed, and we're here now in the UK, where we have a situation now where everybody is really pushing for this.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing, you know, the UK government, from the Prime Minister down, there is a real push to deploy and take advantage of the AI opportunity. We saw the London Tech Week announcements. And the government is talking about an incremental £80 billion, right, of growth into the economy by 2035. So this speaks to me of a lot of agents. This speaks to me of much better customer service. That speaks to me much better citizen service. It speaks to me of a lot of change, a lot of improvements. And it's at a time where our companies, all of us, starting with Capita, we need better financial performance, we need better operational productivity. Civil service also has some operational challenges. So I think this is happening at the right time for all of us. So as I fast forward, I think what we're going to do is going to do more of the same, but a lot faster. Your agents will be better, they will be more pervasive, they'll be more integrated into more and more processes. And I think our colleagues are just going to be fundamentally transformed. I mean, one of the areas where we're investing a lot in is training. We're creating data academies, AI apprenticeships, because we know very quickly the skills and the culture makeup of our colleagues has to sort of be developed to match that. So I think the workforce of everybody who's here over the next few years is going to fundamentally transform. So I think gloom has been overdone.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we live in a challenging world, but this is the right medicine for the future, for the economy, and I'm terribly excited to be part of it.
Love to hear your insights. Thank you so much, Adolfo. You are doing amazing things with Capita, and thank you for being, honestly, an inspiring customer. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Well done. And a big thank you. We're on the home straight, folks. We're almost there. And honestly, that truly inspires me. Thank you so much to our wonderful speakers. Thank you to our demo DJs who have disappeared already because we've got lots of other things going on. But honestly, I hope you found that informative, inspiring. We wanted to show you AI as it was meant to be. You know, the fact that we can help you understand how Agentforce can be deployed in any of your organizations, powered by Data Cloud across your full 360 in one trusted, deeply unified platform. And of course, you might be thinking, well, okay, I understand all that, Zara, but where do I start? Well, I have to say, we've been working with thousands of customers so far to deploy Agentforce with them. And actually, their journeys follow a very similar pattern. And 3 steps, really. And I don't mean to oversimplify, but each one of these steps unlocks more value as you progress. And the first one being something you saw, I think, in the demo that Jocelyn showed you. It's asking a simple question about your business. You know, how's my campaign doing? How's my recruitment campaign doing? That's the first step. And then once you've got that working and working alongside you in a way that you need, the next step is to get Agentforce to take action for you. And then once you've got that tuned and rotating and working smoothly, the next step, or the final step, is to get Agentforce to take action on your behalf proactively. So as you scale your digital labor, and Adolfo made a joke about the pricing, we've actually moved on with our pricing. We're continually learning, we're continually innovating. So we've done away with the $2 per conversation. And we've removed the friction to enable you to scale more cost effectively. And so we've moved to a pay-per-action model, and that's at 10 cents per action. So it's much more efficient, much more cost effective, and a lot simpler to understand. And we know that and again, Adolfo alluded to the fact that training and skills, and we need to get employees, your hands on it. Companies want their employees to get their hands on this ASAP, to get familiar with it, so it becomes part of their working pattern. So coming this summer, we will be having an unlimited use for employees pricing model. So 2 mechanisms that hopefully will help you, and so hopefully demonstrate to you that we're with you every single step of the way, whether you're starting out or whether you're scaling. So with that, well done for making it through the keynote, folks. Well done. Now you need to go and get your steps up, get yourself to the campground, get your hands on those agents and start building. But once you do that, and once you feel happy and satisfied, come back here at 4:30, where we'll have Louis Theroux for the Luminary keynote. And just before you go, please do help us make this better for you. We want to serve you. So there's a survey there. If you get a moment, please pop up your phone, grab that, tell us what you want more of, what you want less of, and we will do our best to serve you. So with that, thank you so much. You've been an absolute pleasure this morning. Enjoy the rest of World Tour London.